We're going to be talking about aligning the A-axis, the rotational alignment of the XL fixture to support milling bangles and bracelets. This is a critical step so that the alignment is correct. To check and or adjust the rotary alignment of the A-axis, two files are needed. These are attached with this movie and are listed below. This movie provides instruction on using parts of the hub calibration along with the wax from these models to align the A-axis. The files you will need are 6mm XL Hub RVOC and Orient Check Bangle 01 RVOC. The first step of this process is to mill the two files attached with this movie. The first file will be the 6mm hub, and when it's done, you will have a hub in the center of your block of wax. It will be 6mm thick, and it will be properly oriented and aligned to the XL fixture. Then, without removing the wax from the machine, we turn around and we will mill the orientation file, and you will end up with a small section of a bracelet out here at the very edge and a little pip on the end, or a little pyramid that is equivalent to the pyramid that is on the hub calibration. At that point, we can take this out of the machine. The next step is to basically trick the machine into thinking that it has already milled the calibration hub. So we come up here to the calibration line, we come down to center hub calibration, and it will say remove all fixtures. We say sure, we've done that. And then it will load the job. We go through the process of setting this up just like it was a regular job to mill, which means we would get up to this point where we would load our wax into our dual fixture. We will not do this step. We will simply tell the machine that we have. We're going to lie to it. Then we're going to lie to it and say that we attached the fixture. We are not. We're going to check our coolant. Then the next thing I do is I come down here and I turn my coolant pump and duration down to 0 because I don't want any coolant squirting anyplace. And I go ahead and click start the job. Now the job starts to run, and I immediately stop it again by clicking on the e-stop button. And I go to G code up here in the upper right hand corner. If you grab a hold of the scroll bar and scroll down, you will find that this G code has 13,943 lines in it. So we're going to come up here and we're going to say set line. You have to click in the window, and I'm going to type in 13,940. I want to stop just a couple lines back. What will actually happen is the mill will stop further back. It says the mill will now move to restart from this line. The mill will physically move in space. You can see it moving around. And it moved back to 890, which is fine. We'll let it go ahead and get to that point. Mill is ready to restart. We click OK. We'll click Start. There is nothing on the machine. The machine is going to move just the last few steps of this job. And when it's done, it will then let us go to the second part. This is the only way to get to the second part of the calibration. Now up here in the upper left-hand corner it says job 1 of 3 is running. The next thing it's going to do is start loading job 2. It tells us to remove the fixture. You bet. It never was on the machine in the first place. It tells us to put on our center hub fixture number 3. Yes, we will do that. And under normal conditions, what would happen is we would have a disc that we would then put onto the fixture number 3, the center hub, and the machine would then move over and bring the cutter to this location right above the little pyramid that's on this part. That's what we're going to trick the machine over into doing next. So back here in the Revo control panel, what we do is say, okay, yeah, we did that. The mill is moving to position, which it will do. You can see it moving. It says remove the wax from the position, put it on. We're not going to do any of this. We're going to leave all of this off the machine for now. We're going to leave the machine empty, and we hit step 2, and it'll jog over. It says jogging to the hub cal position. We click on that. That's right. And it will now move over until the cutter would be in the physical position of the last fixture. So the cutter should be stopped like this, but the fixture here will not be on the machine. The next thing you do is you go back to the control panel, and here in the control panel you go back to continuous mode, go back up here and click the fastest, which is fast, and then you go Z straight up. Don't move anything else, but we're going to move this cutter up out of the way where we can work on the mill, and we have not changed its orientation to the A-axis. Now as you can see, we've gotten to 0. That's the home position. The next thing we do is we go ahead and put the 3-pin mandrel, the hub fixture number 3, on the machine, and we put our piece of wax that we just got done milling in the XL fixture onto the 3-pin mandrel. And it's kind of hard to see in my photograph here, but the arrow is here pointing up. So there'll be our little pyramid at the top, our arrow's up here, and our fixture, or our cutter, is up inside the stainless steel shroud. Go ahead and put on the thumb screw and the washers and tighten this up nice and snug. Then, using the down button, we're going to bring that cutter back down until it's just about touching our pyramid that's at the top of our portion of our bangle bracelet. So you're going to have to watch this closely. Once you get close, you're going to want to slow down, probably go to medium slow, and then you can walk it down very slow. Do not use the X, the Y, or the A axis. We're going to stick in Z, or for you Canadians, the Z axis. The final result should be our cutter has come down very close to the tip of the pyramid that was milled on our first piece in our big XL fixture. And you can see this is a side view. We need to actually move backwards or counterclockwise, anti-clockwise rotation ever so slightly. And you'll also need to look down on it from the right angles from the front of the machine and make sure that the X-axis is aligned properly. If we don't do this, prongs and other detail work will not be properly positioned as we rotate around the outside, and stuff that we mill in autoflip will get cut off in rotary. And because the hub fixture that originally calibrates is much smaller in diameter, it does not have the kind of angular accuracy that this system has. Once you've done that, the mill is aligned, and you should not have to go back and align the 3-pin mandrel for any other job, anything smaller than the bangle bracelet. This should be actually more accurate set up this way than anything you can possibly do. So once you've done that, your mill is ready to mill bangles anytime. To get that last movement, you'd jog with your A here, counterclockwise or clockwise, whichever direction, and with your X, left or right, to get the pyramid centered perfectly underneath the cutter tip, and then you click move, and that is the step that actually calibrates the machine.